The research found that Jamaican-American girls who held onto their Jamaican identity while navigating American life had better outcomes than those who assimilated and let it go. Hello, my loves, welcome back to my channel. I cannot tell you how excited I am for this video. I feel like it is an honor to be able to present you with what I'm going to talk about today, because it is a part of my lived experience, who I am, what I represent, and why I even do what I do. So if you are new here, make sure you subscribe, share this with somebody that would benefit from learning about this, and let's just dive right in, because as you can see from the title, we're talking about the Good Girl programming, but specifically I'm going to talk about it from the point of view of the Jamaican-American woman, or the first-gen woman. Now, if you're not a first-gen, of course, you might still resonate with some things, and if you're not Jamaican-American, of course, you might resonate with some things. But I just wanted to share from my lived experience, and for all the women that also identify and that also are in this with me and get it, right? I'm actually losing light in this video while I'm filming, because I'm getting ready to head out to a cookout. There's gonna be Jamaican food there. And so the couple that is hosting it, I haven't met them yet, and so I know them through friends. He messaged me and he was like, hey, just know that at 8 o'clock we're gonna start playing Spades, and just make sure you read the rules and come ready to play. And so I told him, I said, I actually don't know how to play spades. I grew up in a Jamaican household and it just isn't a part of our culture. So I actually don't know how to play spades, but I will be a cheerleader. I will cheer for whoever is winning. I'm so good at that. That is my lane and I stick with it. So I laughed about that because I haven't had one of those moments in a long time. And I don't know if these people that are hosting it are Jamaicans, because like I said, I haven't met them, but I know the Jamaican food will be there. And I just thought it was such an interesting moment to happen right as I'm going to film this video, because it speaks directly to how unique this experience is. Now, I have some videos on my Instagram that I talked deeply about this research that I found, but I want to recap it here so that those of you that are new can get a feel of what we're talking about. Dr. Gail Ferguson is a researcher that has done a ton of research on the experience of Jamaican-Americans. And I talked about a study she did in 2012 and a study in 2010 where she surveyed teens in one that are in Jamaica, and she surveyed Jamaican-Americans in America. And both of these studies really point to a lot of interesting things. Now, one of the things it points to with the study that was done on the Jamaican teens is that she studied whether they had a gap between their actual self and who they thought they should be. And she realized that no matter where that gap was, how big, it didn't matter. If there was a gap between who they actually were and who they thought they should be, that it linked to increased depressive symptoms, low self-esteem, and worse school grades. Now, another thing that was found in this study is that as the teens got older, it worsened. And so as you age, it actually gets worse. The depressive symptoms are worse, the self-esteem is lower, and the school grades are worse. We're gonna connect it with the 2012 study that she did on the Jamaican-Americans. In this study, she talked about the tricultural model that she pioneered. Shout out to you, Dr. Gail. She pioneered this model in cross-cultural psychology, a brand new model that spoke to the 3 different identities that Jamaican-Americans, and by a wider perspective, that Caribbean Americans hold. Jamaican culture, the Black American culture, and the European culture. All 3 are blended for Jamaican-Americans. What happened was when people assimilated, they actually had the most trouble. So first-gen youth who assimilated, so adopted American culture while dropping Jamaican identity, had dramatically worse grades compared to their peers. The research found that Jamaican-American girls who held onto their Jamaican identity while navigating American life had better outcomes than those who assimilated and let it go. This talks about Jamaican food, Jamaican language, like culture, everything. The ones that kept their culture did better overall across the board, mental health and otherwise. And so that was the basic overview of what the studies pointed to. But what I want to bring in now is the Good Girl programming. Like you guys know, that's my work. I help women drop the good girl and step into their authentic self and reclaim their power. I want to talk about how the good girl identity was something that I worked through, because my work I've been doing for over 10 years. And at this point, professionally for 10 years, I can tell you that the Good Girl programming, the thread of it has been all through my life and carried into my business, and I had to heal a lot of that in my business. Thank God for my business, because it helped me to heal so many things that I didn't know were there. I shared this on my Instagram, I've shared this in my masterminds, I've shared this all over, but I have turned down 5 marriage proposals, and here's the reason why. That was something that was expected of me, that I thought I was supposed to do. I'm the eldest daughter of the eldest daughter. You're supposed to just get a good job, get married, do the thing, right? Have kids, live happily ever after. I always knew that that wasn't for me, but there was a part of me that I was like playing tug of war with my whole life, because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. That was what my mother expected of me, my grandmother expected of me, my family expected of me, the culture expected of me. And so I just felt like I had to, but I knew deep down that that wasn't something that I wanted. So when I started my business and ventured into entrepreneurship as the first successful entrepreneur in my generation, I realized that I don't have to do life in the way that I was told I had to do it, and that I could actually choose the way I want to do life. And that changed my brain chemistry. That rewired my brain chemistry to realize I don't have to do things the way I was told that I had to do them. And those of you that read my book, my first book, you already know my story about surviving an abusive partner and all of those things. So this happened right after. This was like the next thing, the next chapter, when I started my business. So moving into entrepreneurship showed me different sides of life that I could not have imagined if I had stayed in that small story and repeated the cycles and patterns that I saw my mom do, which was the path I was on until I broke that generational curse. My business helped me heal so much, and it helped me to realize that I actually did not want to be married. And it took 5 different times, but I realized that I did not want to be married. And I had to work through the shame to be okay with that. I had to work through and do the inner work to be okay with the fact that I don't want something that my family wants for me. I don't want something that my culture or my mom or anybody wants for me. I want what is for me. I have to be true and honest to what is for me. I've made a lot of different decisions in my life that were difficult, and that I had to do that inner work around and drop the good girl conditioning around, because I knew that it was going to make people judge me. I knew that people were going to think that I was weird, or that I was crazy, or like, what is she doing? And I had to be okay with that. That is something that for you listening, you watching, that feel resonant with me, my content, I want you to be able to drop the good girl conditioning that's been following you in little ways even throughout your life, and to step into your greatest potential. Women that start their own businesses are stepping into their greatest potential because your business teaches you so much. It becomes this container for inner work. With the women in my world that are in my Winner's Circle Mastermind and that are in my Wild Heart Woman program, the women in my world that do this work, they are women that are coming into their best self through their business, whatever that looks like, through their ministry, because this is my ministry, but your ministry might look different. If you're a woman that feels really resonant and you're like, I'm ready for my ministry, I'm ready for my movement, I'm ready for my business, I'm ready to step into becoming my own ecosystem of wealth, which I talk about a lot. Women are not designed to get money from institutions. We're not designed to wait on money from institutions, from men, from masculine structures. We are designed to be living ecosystems of abundance. We are designed like the energy of water. And so for you to be a living ecosystem of abundance, you must remove the good girl programming that tells you to be the good first gen girl, the good Jamaican girl, to be the good woman, however you were taught it. You have to drop that programming for you to be who you were meant to be. So my loves, I'm gonna drop the info for the Winner's Circle below for those of you that feel resonant, and I would love to have you inside. It is my mastermind community for the women ready to change the world with their movement, for the modern Renaissance woman ready to shake things up. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.